Hello, I'm Dr. Joel Gardner, a faculty member at the International Institute for Innovative Instruction at Franklin University, or I4 as it is called. And today I am meeting with Dr. Rob Wood, who is an instructional design faculty member here at the Institute. Now, Rob, I know that you have been designing instruction for over 27 years, just from our past discussions. Tell me, how did you get started in the field of instructional design?
Well, I always like to say I came through the back door into the field. I didn't know what instructional design was. My undergraduate is in photography and television production. I actually couldn't find a job in that field many years ago, and I came across a job opening, applied for it, and amazingly they hired me, and I've been doing instructional design ever since.
That's great. So that was several years ago. Now, why have you decided to stay in this field?
Because it's challenging, it's creative, it's an opportunity for me to truly try to make a difference in students' lives by giving them quality instruction, and it's fun.
For me, you know, one of the things, and for me too, it's the same things, and I've been a designer for several years also, but one of the things also is that I feel like you're always learning something new, because you have to get into what you're trying to design, figure out how it works before you can make it actually a good piece of instruction. So that's another part I think that's really fun.
Absolutely. It's the systematic approach that I love. Whether you're using a specific model or just intuition, it's really the systematic approach that makes it work and that makes it fun along the way.
Yes. Now here's another question for you. What are some of the things that you typically do in your work as an instructional designer?
Typically, if you're looking for a typical day,
Sure. Yeah.
I can do anything ranging from working on a design map, which is a visual representation of how a course is going to be structured, to research, to reading the latest about the technologies that are coming out, emerging technologies. It varies from day to day.
Well, and something about what you said is it highlights that instructional design is a pretty dynamic field, constantly evolving and changing with the introduction of new theories or technologies, different settings that you have to design for. So it really is there's a lot of change going on.
There's a lot of change, and in the last 27 years, I've witnessed a tremendous amount of change, particularly in the way that design is approached. As you know, the foundation of instructional design was during World War II, and they used a specific model called instructional systems design. And that model has evolved to a great extent, particularly in terms of how to make that model more efficient. So you have the successive approximation model, which is one that we use here at the Institute. So it's a constant process of learning and growing and changing with the field.
Wow, that's great. Now, working with faculty is kind of a big part of what you do here at Franklin University as you develop these courses. And what are some of the top strategies that you've developed for really working effectively with faculty members?
Well, the most important aspect of it is collaboration. But I find that a lot of what I do involves education in some respect. Typically, if I'm with a faculty member, we're working on a course, I'm not going to talk about instructional theories or instructional strategies, but what I will do is present the ideas, and in doing that, I'm helping them become educated about what is good instructional design.
That's excellent. So, last question for you here. You've been designing for many years. What advice do you have for somebody who's new to the field of instructional design?
It's interesting that you asked that question. When I began as an instructional designer, I asked my supervisor that same question. His response to me is one that has stayed with me for all these years. He said if I could tolerate change, ambiguity, and uncertainty, that I would be a good designer. I've thought about what that really meant over the years. And what it means to me is that I have to continue to be quick on my feet, to flow with the changes that are happening in the field and the changes that are happening in the organization that I work for. And as long as I can do that, then I think I'll be successful.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for meeting with us today, Dr. Wood. For more resources on instructional design or teaching excellence or assessment in higher education, you can visit our blog at engage.franklin.edu/I4.